and the return of the problem child, El Gallo de Dorado, Jake Paul, live on DAZN pay-per-view.
Stay down. Yeah. Ready, AJ?
The face-off, they got very, very tense very quickly.
Yeah, it was spicy. It was good because we've got to be focused for this fight. You know, sometimes you have a build-up like the Dillian White fight. Sometimes you can feel a little bit deflated. I didn't see a deflated Anthony Joshua. I probably saw a more pumped Anthony Joshua than I've ever seen. Never heard him speak like that in a face-to-face.
The intense face-off was electric. Anthony Joshua's presence dominated. Eyes locked, focus sharp. Jake Paul tried to act confident, but clearly felt the pressure. The tension screamed danger for Jake Paul. Anthony Joshua made it clear he is ready to expose every weakness, sending a brutal warning before the fight even begins.
No. You rise to the occasion. Experience comes with age, and I've been hearing a lot about age, you know.
We are now, and I finally get to check that off my list, and I knew this was going to be a big fight. The build-up for this is huge. The press conferences are entertaining. It's a spectacle.
KSI's reaction makes it clear Anthony Joshua is on another level, and he's not here for world titles, but to dominate. Money-wise, it might look like a dub, but if Anthony Joshua flatlines Jake Paul, everyone will expect it. Confidence oozes from Anthony Joshua, and Jake Paul looks outmatched already. KSI hints this is Anthony Joshua's fight to control from start to finish.
But also, it's also like the way I see it, I think AJ and his team, he's not fighting for titles again, like world titles again.
Yeah,
he's not at that stage. Yeah.
Well, do you think it's a lose-lose for AJ?
No, because I reckon.
Besides, I mean, look, money-wise, it's a
Win.
dub.
Yeah.
But like,
if he flatlines Jake, dub.
Everyone's
That's
saying
it.
like, okay, we expected this. If
It's still good,
If
though.
it goes 12 rounds,
It's
AJ
that's bad.
is.
Yeah, that's bad. But
Yeah.
surely you've got the confidence to know that, like, I'm gonna bum him.
Anthony Joshua shows why he is a true professional, keeping a level head even when challenges pop up. He calls these the best days of his life and refuses to let anything derail his training. That focus and calm are what separate him from Jake Paul, who looks nervous and overwhelmed. Anthony Joshua is staying sharp and in control every day and every round, and that discipline will crush anyone who underestimates him.
Keep a professional head on. Things happen in life. So no complaining. These are the best days of my life. A little like blip in my day didn't change the whole like trajectory of how my training camp went. Stay focused. And as I said, like I'm just happy that I'm still getting a day.
Frank Martin explains the huge gap between fighters like Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. Even if Jake Paul has improved, he has not lived his whole life for this sport. Anthony Joshua is a real heavyweight who has done this for years and packs serious power. Facing him is a tough task, and anyone watching can see Jake Paul is out of his depth before the first punch.
I consider Jake now, you know, I wouldn't consider him like a YouTube fighter no more. You know, I feel like he put in the time. He gotten better throughout like all his fights. Like he done got better throughout all those fights, you know. But it's still like when you fighting like fighters who actually like done it for like their life, their whole life, it's a little different. You know, if that fight happened, it'll be a good money fight. It'll be a good money fight. But that's a tough task for, you know what I'm saying, Jake going to get that big ass heavyweight AJ. You know, I know AJ personally, you know, so that's a tough task, and that motherfucker can punch.
Anthony Joshua points out that Jake Paul shows confidence by offering the fight, but Anthony Joshua's focus and skill make that confidence meaningless. Physically, Jake Paul does not impress, but mentally, he tried to step up. Anthony Joshua sees right through it. This is another warning that in the ring, belief alone will not protect Jake Paul from the punishment Anthony Joshua can deliver.
What's the one best thing that you pride Jake Paul of having that maybe you haven't seen in other competition you faced so far?
From a physical aspect, I couldn't even mention it at the minute.
But from a mental aspect, he offered me the fight. Normally, I'm offering people fights. He's told me, come and fight. So he believes in himself.
Jake Paul looks locked in and intense, but Anthony Joshua's size, skill, and power are unmatched. Being tall does not help when facing a former heavyweight champion who controls distance, timing, and angles perfectly. Anthony Joshua dominates any room and ring he steps into, and Jake Paul will quickly realize that being tall is nothing against a fighter of Anthony Joshua's caliber and experience.
Looks intense, focused, locked in. He's obviously very, very tall. Looking up, my tallest opponent. My eyes are at his, chest level.
The intensity here is unbelievable. Jake Paul is staring down Anthony Joshua, and it is clear he is already feeling the pressure. Anthony Joshua's presence alone is battering him mentally before a single punch lands. Watching them interact, it is obvious Jake Paul cannot match the focus, power, and control Anthony Joshua brings. This is a warning that Jake Paul is in way over his head.
He's going to get battered. He's going to get absolutely
preaching to the choir, bro.
Annihilated.
Yeah, take it to just as they turn to the side. That's it, just there. And watch Jake. He looks at him, keeps looking, and then Joshua looks back. Yeah.
Jeez.
Great.
I just, it's incredible, really.
Mickey Mace highlights the massive difference in odds. Anthony Joshua is a huge favorite because his size, power, and experience are unmatched. Betting on Jake Paul is like gambling against reality. Everyone watching sees that Anthony Joshua is in control, and even the bravest bets cannot change the fact that Jake Paul is facing a true heavyweight with skill far beyond anything he has experienced.
Jake Paul is plus 600 against Anthony Joshua. If you bet $100 on Jake Paul, you get $600 back.
Anthony's a big favorite.
10-1 odds. Originally, Jake Paul was supposed to fight Gervonta. Anthony Joshua was a lot bigger.
I wish Jake his best. I hope Jake wins.
Do you think he'll win?
I think he'll win.
Are you going to bet that Jake wins?
Yeah, I'm going to bet Jake wins.
How much do you think he'll put down?
Probably put $1,000 on Jake.
So he'll get $6,000 at best. So this is just spending money.
KSI acknowledges the fight is massive, but makes it clear Anthony Joshua is in complete control. Giving props to Jake Paul is one thing, but everyone watching can see that Anthony Joshua is the true threat. His power, experience, and calm focus make Jake Paul look small and unprepared. The brutal presence of Anthony Joshua dominates, even before the fight starts, and KSI points out the outcome is obvious. Jake Paul stepping into the ring is courageous, but he's facing a man who has crushed giants. He will feel every ounce of Anthony Joshua's strength.
Jake is fine, AJ. I'm going to give him props. Fair play, Jake. That is a big fight. AJ should knock him out.
AJ by brutal Bonnie Blue scene. AJ by...
What do you reckon the purses are?
I think
Eddie Hearn's words underline the harsh reality Jake Paul faces. Anthony Joshua is on another level, and anyone thinking otherwise is dreaming. The phrase "smashed to pieces" is not an exaggeration. Anthony Joshua's technique, power, and timing make him unstoppable. Jake Paul can try to bluff or look confident, but in the ring, he is outmatched physically and mentally. Hearn's blunt assessment matches what every expert sees Anthony Joshua doing. This fight will be a masterclass from a seasoned heavyweight, and Jake Paul is about to learn the difference between hype and true skill.
I think he's got absolutely no chance. I think he's going to get smashed to pieces.
Tuke McKenzie's insight hits the mark perfectly. Anthony Joshua never underestimates anyone, but facing Jake Paul is a mismatch on every level. Jake Paul might hope for an easy fight, but Anthony Joshua is a trained athlete with years of experience and power behind every punch. Calling Jake Paul a wannabe is not cruel. It is accurate. He has never faced anyone like Anthony Joshua, and that gap in skill and mentality will show. Every jab, hook, and move from Anthony Joshua will highlight why he is a former champion and why Jake Paul is nowhere near ready.
I don't think Anthony Joshua would take Jake Paul lightly any way, shape or form, and it'd be so easy to hit. You're talking about a trained athlete against...
Benavidez Sr. warns that this is dangerous for Jake Paul, and he is right. Anthony Joshua is a master of timing, distance, and power, and anyone stepping in must respect that. While talk of upsets always excites fans, it is clear Anthony Joshua controls everything in the ring. Jake Paul might hope for luck or a miracle, but facing a man like Anthony Joshua, who has beaten champions and survived every test, is a different level. This is not just a fight. It is a lesson for Jake Paul in what true heavyweight skill looks like.
You know, don't count him out. You know, I think that's a very dangerous fight for Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, you know, we could have a big upset, you know, but...
John Fury's blunt comment shows just how dominant Anthony Joshua is. The fight is so one-sided that even exaggeration can't hide the truth. Jake Paul facing Anthony Joshua is like stepping into a storm without protection. Everything about Anthony Joshua, from power to skill to experience, guarantees he controls this fight completely. If by some miracle it goes differently, it would be suspicious. Fans already know who has the advantage and who is merely trying to bluff. Anthony Joshua is in a league of his own, and Jake Paul is dangerously outmatched.
Work. Because Anthony Joshua could knock Jake Paul out with his dick. So if it goes any other way...
Anthony Joshua makes it clear that Jake Paul is stepping into a world he has never experienced. Every punch will be calculated and brutal, and Anthony Joshua plans to expose Jake Paul to techniques that will overwhelm him. This is not just a fight, it is a lesson. Jake Paul might think he can handle the pressure, but Anthony Joshua's combination of power, timing, and skill will put him in another school of boxing entirely. Fans are about to witness a heavyweight masterclass. Jake Paul's confidence will collide with reality, and Anthony Joshua will leave no doubts about who controls the ring and who is outmatched.
Is this the biggest upset in boxing history?
For sure, neck and neck with Tyson and Buster. Right up there. Biggest stage. This will probably be the second.
Spencer Oliver captures the fantasy that Jake Paul might have in his head, but Anthony Joshua is on a completely different level. Believing that a single shot can beat a former heavyweight champion is laughable. Anthony Joshua's experience, precision, and knockout power mean that no one can simply get in range without facing severe consequences. This fight is not about hope. It is about skill and dominance. Jake Paul may have confidence, but Anthony Joshua has proven he can dismantle any opponent and make them regret every step into the ring. This will be a reality check that no YouTube hype can alter.
I truly believe, watching the press conference yesterday, I truly believe that he believes he's going to win the fight. That he's got to just get into range, land a shot, and he'll knock Anthony Joshua out.
David Adeleye highlights the dangerous truth about Anthony Joshua. People may underestimate his technique, but when his fists land, the impact is devastating. Jake Paul will quickly learn that this is not a sparring session. Anthony Joshua combines power with timing and precision that few in the world can match. Every punch carries experience, skill, and knockout potential. Fans who witness this will see how brutal and effective Anthony Joshua can be. Jake Paul's confidence may fade the moment Anthony Joshua makes contact, because hitting a man like Anthony Joshua means facing consequences that he has never faced in his short boxing career.
He hits harder than people expect, I think. I think a lot of people, obviously, they pick up on his boxing and how good of a boxer he is, but he hits harder than people expect.
David Benavides reminds everyone why Anthony Joshua is untouchable. Multiple-time champion and Olympic gold medalist are not just titles, they are proof of skill, power, and experience. Anyone stepping in with him without serious boxing experience is inviting disaster. The example of Gondu shows what happens when underprepared opponents try to face Anthony Joshua. Jake Paul may think he is ready, but Anthony Joshua has faced and destroyed far more skilled and dangerous fighters. This fight will reinforce that Anthony Joshua is in a league far beyond anyone who comes from outside professional boxing. And Jake Paul will quickly understand the difference between hype and reality.
Was Anthony Joshua, you know, he's multiple-time champion,
Olympic gold medalist. You know what I mean? The last time somebody stepped in the ring with him that didn't have that much boxing experience was Ngannou, and you've seen what happened to him. But
Joe Rogan paints the perfect picture of the danger Jake Paul faces. Anthony Joshua is enormous, has Olympic-level skill, and knockout power that few can survive. Jake Paul's recent matches are nothing compared to this level. Watching Anthony Joshua with someone like Francis Ngannou shows the precision, power, and fear he brings. Jake Paul is about to step into a ring with a true heavyweight master, and every punch will show him how outmatched he really is. This is a fight where experience, size, and skill all belong to Anthony Joshua, and Jake Paul will quickly understand the real meaning of heavyweight danger.
What do you think about Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua?
Boy, you're dealing with a guy who's an Olympic gold medalist. He's enormous and he's got vicious knockout power, and you take a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you're gonna fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division. Maybe we should watch the Francis Ngannou fight, just so you can see what Anthony Joshua is capable if he's fighting someone that's not in his league. Watch this. So he drops him with a right hand early, and this is 2 minutes into the first round. Francis gets up, he survives, and then check out this combination he hits him with. I mean, dude, he probably has no idea where he is.
Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul is shaping up to be a fight where the truth of skill, power, and experience will shine through. Everything is on the line as Anthony Joshua steps into the ring not just to win, but to dominate, exposing Jake Paul to techniques and punches he has never faced before. Anthony Joshua's timing, knockout power, and calm precision make him an unstoppable force, while Jake Paul's hype and confidence are no match for a former heavyweight champion. Fans are about to witness a masterclass in boxing, where every move, every combination, and every step will remind the world why Anthony Joshua is in a league of his own. If Anthony Joshua wins, it reinforces his legacy and proves why he is one of the greatest heavyweights in modern boxing. If Jake Paul somehow shocks the world, it would be one of the biggest upsets ever. But even then, he would have to overcome years of experience, power, and skill that Anthony Joshua brings to the ring. Are you backing Anthony Joshua? Or do